Hey there, this is Travis Knewstep, the CEO of Vesla Copper. Today I wanted to go over some of the science behind copper and how it is antimicrobial. And these Vesla Copper water bottles, how they kill microbes and keep your water clean and safe. And then also mineral deficiency, because these bottles actually infuse copper into the water in a bioavailable form, which is really important, especially for people with copper deficiency, which is actually a lot more prevalent than you previously thought. So let's dive right in. First, I'm sharing my screen with you guys, but if you just Google the oligodynamic effect, it'll explain how copper does what it does. But let's just read this explanation right here. How does it work? While the mechanism is not fully understood by modern science, studies suggest that copper ions cause membrane damage to bacteria by affecting the protein in the bacteria's cell walls, thereby resulting in their precipitation and inactivation. All right, so you can look at, there's images and stuff and everything. It's pretty easy to understand what it is. It's complex and we don't understand exactly how it works, but we know that it does. All right, and then you can go to PubMed.gov. This is the National Institute of Health, National Library of Medicine. This is where scientists, doctors, everybody goes to get their scientific literature. You can type in a number of things. I typed in copper pots killing bacteria, and there's actually a couple studies that come up. This first one, the first one is a lot of jargon. I can get it, but I can't pronounce all the wording. So I'm going to read this second one. It's a little bit easier for me to pronounce. Water inoculated with 500 to 1,000 colony-forming units of E. coli, salmonella, etc. was stored overnight at room temperature in copper pots or in glass bottles containing copper coil devised by us. The organisms were no longer recoverable when cultured on conventional media, by contrast with water stored in control glass bottles under similar conditions. The amount of copper leached into the water after overnight storage in a copper pot or a glass bottle with a copper device was less than 475 parts per billion, which is well within the safety limits prescribed by the WHO. The device is inexpensive, reusable, etc., etc. All right, so that goes in. You can read all about this on PubMed.gov, guys. And there's another one here that talks about copper deficiency, its prevalence, and its role in insulin resistance and diabetes. You can Google all this stuff yourself. I'm not going to read that one, but I did want to touch on Dr. James D. Nicolantonio, and specifically his work in the Mineral Fix talks about copper. And I'm actually going to try to just play this video here. I wonder if this video will record that and allow me to do
it. The third most important mineral is copper. Copper is important for immune function, it's important for blood sugar control, and it's important and allows us to move iron around the body. Now, the average person is going to lose anywhere from 0.4 milligrams all the way up to 1.5 milligrams of copper per hour of sweating. Typically at 100 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, let's say in a sauna, you're going to lose upwards of 1.5 milligrams of copper per hour of sweating. Now, that also may not sound like a lot, but the average American adult is only consuming 0.9 milligrams of copper per day. So essentially, you can lose all of your dietary copper intake for the day in just 1 hour of sweating. The reason why this is my third most important mineral loss in sweat is also because the bioavailability of dietary copper is fairly low at only 30 to 50% bioavailable. So that means if you only lose 0.4 milligrams of copper through sweat, you would actually need to consume 0.8 milligrams through the diet to replace that loss back. That is assuming a 50% bioavailability. So you can see how people can quickly become copper deficient if they're sweating a lot. The fourth most important mineral is called selenium.
All right, we don't care about selenium right now, but yeah. So I highly recommend Dr. D. Nicolantonio. Follow him on Instagram. He's on Twitter. Read his books. The Mineral Fix is a really good one specifically pertaining to this, but he also has the Salt Fix, the Immunity Fix, the Obesity Fix. The guy is really smart. And yeah, so I hope the little bit of science we went over today regarding copper and Vesla Copper specifically, how it can benefit you and your drinking water, and also the infusion of copper trace minerals into your water can act as a cost-effective bioavailable source for copper supplementation, which is really beneficial if you sweat a lot, if you exercise, if you're into yoga, if you just are out in the heat a lot. Copper is essential to replenish. Thanks, guys. And I'm going to do a video, more videos in the future. This is the first one, so I appreciate it. I'll dive more into these specific topics individually in the future. Thanks.